What's up, guys? I got the keys here, back with another video. Trying out something new with this background, so check that shit out. But today I want to talk about resistance and, why resistance can feel like a sign when you're growing, right? Have you ever felt like the universe or God is like pushing you back on everything you try to do, right? Um, like your plans just keep hitting a wall and you can't really seem to get anywhere, you know. um I want you to know that this is actually a good thing, because what resistance is really is it's not punishment, right? It's recalibration of realigning you to that new self that you're trying, or you're aligning with being, right? So anytime that you're stepping into something bigger than your current comfort zone, okay, God and your own mind will throw little tests, or anchors, as I like to call them. I don't like the word test because it makes it sound like you're trying to pass a quiz or something. But you will get like delays or unexpected obstacles or just like little shit that pisses you off, right? And they're just small, like signals that you're leveling up, right? That there's change going on, that there's identity work happening, right? So like I'm gonna give an example of yesterday, how yesterday went. So I went on a hike to this beautiful place, because I just wanted to get outside. I wanted to do something, and on my way there, I start hearing this dragging sound, and I'm like, "Uh oh." I was like, "What's wrong with the car?" And then I instantly knew what it was once it started happening for a couple minutes, and I was like, "Okay, it sounds like something's dragging." So I'm like, "It must be the exhaust fell down." Um, So when I got there, I checked the exhaust, and of course it was hanging. And I was like, wow, I was dragging that the whole time. I was like, I wonder how many sparks I threw, and people were probably like avoiding me. Um, and it was like, at first I was like, man, another fucking, bullshit thing happening. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe this is God trying to show me something, like this little resistance, right? Because I know that I'm changing. I've already changed internally. It's just like my reality is catching up, right? And this kind of shit happens, and it's like, as soon as I just gave up on it, and I was just like, whatever, like I let it go. I don't want to say gave up, but I let it go, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go on my hike. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna be in the moment, just have fun, and I'll worry about this when I get back. So I went and enjoyed my hike. I took this nice long hike. um Beautiful view. And I really just had fun, right? And it's like I was just calm, observant, just being fun. And when I got back, I was like, okay, so how can I handle this? Um, and it was like all I had was a shoelace or a phone charger, and I was like, boy, that's neither one of these is really working too well. So I went with the shoelace because it was a little bit less um, likely to catch fire over the phone cord. So I used that just to hold it up, right? And I went to a hardware store and got some stuff, and the guy helped me, gave me some good options to like use for heat resistance and stuff, so nothing melts. Even like let me borrow his tools and stuff, so like everything worked out perfectly. And once I just sat down and just chilled out, God gave me all the answers and just said, "Hey, go here." So at first, I actually went to a dealership and asked them if they could just weld it real quick before I went home. I didn't mind paying them or anything. But they were like, well, actually, we don't have any technicians in today, but I could maybe give you somewhere to go. And I was like, okay, cool, great. So he gave me that hardware store. So just an example of how things can always, they come to you when you're calm, and in the least non-resistant place of just letting things flow. Um, and then I got the exhaust fixed, and on the way home, check engine light pops on, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And I just started laughing. I'm just like, God, what are you trying to show me right now? Because like I was like, I'm about to freak out. And, but I realized it wasn't something super detrimental. It was probably just like an O2 sensor or something because the exhaust fell down and the exhaust is not reading right. So, no problems with the car. I got it home. Okay. But, just an example of how things can work when you're just calm and just let things happen. Right. Nothing ultimately went catastrophic or anything. It was just little things that, were there to reinforce my new identity, because the new version of me wouldn't freak out over those things because he would know that it's already handled, right? And so that was something that I was being taught in that moment. So that's just an example, but stuff like that happens, and this happened a while ago with my windshield too. I think I'm pretty sure I put that in a video for you guys. But I cracked my windshield by accident, and it was the same thing. It was like, oh man, now I'm gonna have to dish out $300 to go get this fixed, blah blah blah. But it all got handled perfectly, with getting my car inspected and everything. So, I got it done through work, and I'm paying them off slowly, right? So not a big deal. So there's a perfect chance to slow down, reflect, and reset before I move forward with that situation, right? And this is always important to just sit back, take a deep breath, and just say, "Hey, this is not something I can control right now. So let's just move on with life. And when I can handle it, when I figure out something I can do, okay, I'll solve it, right?" Um, and ultimately, that's when the answer comes to you, is when you're the most calm. So reading resistance is like, notice the frustration. Okay, notice that you're mad, that you're upset, or that you're sad, or whatever. And then I want you to ask, is this redirecting me, somewhere in my life, right? Because most of the time it's an indicator that something, bigger is coming. And it's asking you to adjust, right? So I want you to pay attention to any patterns, synchronicities, repeating numbers, and don't get obsessed with these, but because, I've said in the past that signs are not like something you should constantly be watching or looking for, but just notice them when they do pop up, right? And, just like I said, don't be obsessed with it to the point where you're going and looking up every number, or you're, whatever, right? Just get like a general idea of what that means. And then you can kind of take that little guidance, okay? Even some of the people that may show up or that don't show up, right? Because these are also little signals. Every person that you meet has a purpose in your life, just like every person that meets you, you give a purpose, right? So, again, these are all little things that are guiding you towards that new identity. And ultimately this is going to lead you to that new version, okay? So what we can do with this resistance, right, is, instead of forcing things or trying to stress out about it, being upset, being mad, you should treat it like a checkpoint, or like, a point in your journey, okay? And what I want you to do is slow down, take a deep breath, take a little reflection, okay, and just kind of sit with, what happened, and move with more intention, okay? And most importantly, I want you to keep creating whatever you're doing, keep showing up for yourself and for others, and trust that everything is aligning behind the scenes, right? Again, things are happening in the spiritual world that may not show in the physical world all the time, okay? So I want to ask you a question that is, have you noticed resistance showing up whenever you're about to like level up, or whenever you feel like something is, changing, right? I want you to comment below, and I want to hear your story. I want you to engage and because I'd like to get more involved with people. And again, from my last video, I will be offering one-on-one consultations. If you feel like there's something I can help you with, I would love to do that. There will be $20 a person. That'll be 30 minutes. And, you know, if you, like I said, if you feel comfortable and that's something that you are into, I may be able to help you depending on what your situation is. So, again, my email will be down in the description so that you can send me um, an invite or a message, right? So that I can get you set up with that and we can figure out that stuff. Now, this is just a starting point. I haven't gotten fully into it yet. So, but I'm interested in taking that on so I can, evolve myself and help you guys out. So with that being said, all of the links will be down in the description for everything. And I want you to like, subscribe, comment, share the video so we can get it out to more people that may need it. Okay. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay. Peace.